You're gonna blur my face, remember? You and your snakes make me crazy.
So last year around this time, we talked to my little sister and talked about Christmas traditions. I thought it would be a good way to kind of step back into it and actually talk about how I kind of grew up with snakes in my life and out of my life with my mom. And if you don't know already, which I've hinted at it a couple of times throughout my videos, kind of a big mama's boy. So this is my mama.
That's my baby.
And we're gonna talk about how I kind of got into reptiles and where we are now, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. Maybe.
Especially when Mom hates the camera.
She hates cameras, she hates snakes, pretty much everything I like, she's just not okay with.
I hate beards, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Lord. So I remember like my earliest memories were kind of like reading through books and things like that, but it was always about snakes, like specifically about rattlesnakes, because that's what was out by the house, so that's what fascinated me.
That's what happens when we live in the sticks and they're everywhere.
Yeah. So it kind of started there. I think it actually started at your grandma's house, because we had all the snake skins hanging everywhere. Yeah. I didn't get raised in a very snake friendly family. But then again, I don't think most people across the nation are very snake friendly in the first place, but
nope.
It's what we try to fix here, so, or what I try to fix.
Good luck.
Yeah. I've gotten you to hold them a couple of times. It's baby steps. Maybe one day.
When?
You've held the small ones. I haven't gotten you to hold like a good sized one.
Yep.
You've held the small ones.
Long time ago.
Okay.
Long.
So it started in books, and then it started with me being outside all the time and
getting into all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, always in trouble. If I wasn't in trouble, it wasn't a normal day.
Nope.
To be fair, I was probably home as much as I was in school. Well, not at that time. Like when the interest first started, I was a good student. I was still like an A honor roll student back then, because I actually cared about sitting behind a desk and making people happy.
That didn't happen until after we went to Tennessee.
Yeah. So we moved back to New Mexico.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mom.
I was just going to say, mind you, Mama took you to church every Sunday.
Mama did a lot of things. I was just
Mama raised you right. You just like
a rebellious
trouble.
boy. I've always
Still
been that
are.
way. Yeah. I don't deny that one bit.
Great.
So we moved back to New Mexico when I'm 12, and still fascinated by snakes, still reading about them and stuff all the time, but could never get my hands on one. And the only thing I knew about was rattlesnakes, because I saw them all the time around the house. So finally, what was I, 14, 15? I think.
I don't remember how old you were. You want me to remember an age?
I think I was No, it was when I was a freshman.
That was a screwed up time for me.
Yeah, it was a screwed up time for all of us. I start working, well, not even working, I start volunteering at, what was the name of this store? It wasn't Tom's Pet Shop.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
I think so. I think so.
Maybe it was.
That's what we always called it anyways.
Yeah, we always called it Tom's Pet Shop.
Friend of mine from church.
And then if you know Kim from Island of Misfit Morphs, I'll throw a video up here. I've done a couple of interviews with her. I actually grew up with her, and she worked there, and she was really into reptiles and snakes like I was.
Took him to his first reptile show.
Yeah, we went to Phoenix and went to our first reptile show with me, her, and her dad. And God, I don't even know when that was. That was like
That was the next
2004?
summer. No, that was the next
2003?
summer. Yeah.
So summer of 2003, I went to my first reptile show in Phoenix, and I was just hooked instantly. Bad. People have drug addictions. People have, I guess, addictions to everything. I
have a coffee addiction.
Yeah, you have a coffee addiction. I have an animal addiction. It's really bad. Unless it's a spider or an arachnid, I'll mess with them. Like, well, no, like they don't scare me or anything, you know. Like,
okay, I was gonna say
they don't scare me. I'll hold them. I'll do what I have to. Like, I won't even kill a spider anymore. I don't even kill spiders anymore. I let them back out. So I'm working at Tom's Pet Shop for, I don't know, like maybe a month in now, and I'm just obsessed with snakes. Like, I remember he used to feed his albino Burmese once a week. This wasn't the initial push with albino Burmese, but this is when like having an albino animal was still a huge thing.
That was a huge snake too.
Mm-hmm. And me and Kim used to have to clean that cage out together. So she'd be holding the snake, and I'd work with the snake a little bit and try to pick up stuff from her, and we'd end up cleaning the cage out, all that good stuff. But I remember I was just fascinated by boa constrictors back then, and I still am. Like, we predominantly have pythons, but there's just something about the look of a boa constrictor that I enjoy. So we do have one.
To hunt that snake down one day because it got out. Remember?
That was the.
That was the big
a long story.
Albino one.
No, it wasn't the albino.
No,
it was a rainbow boa.
The huge snake was out.
Oh.
I thought yes, yes, I remember.
At Tom's? No.
Yes, dude.
We may have stretched it out and worked with it.
We're gonna argue about this.
We're gonna agree to disagree.
The albino was loose.
It may have been loose,
now
but
I'm
it
gonna
didn't
ask
break
Kim.
Loose.
She'll remember.
It never freaking broke loose there. I do remember the rainbow boa. Because the rainbow boa, someone tried to steal it, and we caught them, and they grabbed it from out of their pocket and just launched it. And it got into our shipment in the back before we could corner it and catch it. So,
as much as I hate snakes, I wouldn't do that.
Finally catch it, we get it back, and I'm cleaning cages, and I'm not thinking about it. You know, like the fact that this snake was just stressed the hell out for the last 2 months.
No shit, you would be too.
Yeah. So I go in and I start cleaning it, and it catches me like right in the web. If you don't know, that's like one of the most sensitive parts on your hand. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, oh, I'm bleeding everywhere.
Because you're a silly goose.
Because I didn't think about it. You know, it happens. You gotta work it out of them. You gotta get comfortable. But we got Gamora in our collection now because of my love for boa constrictors. But when I was working there, my first snake that I ever got was the common Colombian red-tailed boa.
Fine, go get Gamora.
Really?
No.
I got all excited for a second.
Oh my god, that was funny.
That's my baby. She was out on Thanksgiving.
I know. And a corn snake.
And an albino corn snake, yes. It was just a baby. But that was a little bit down the way. I think I had the boa for a couple of weeks before I got the corn snake. And I couldn't pay for him. I talked to Tom. He was like, well, if you just keep volunteering the hours, I'll give you the setup and the snakes and...
You used the fish tank for the
I used the fish tank initially for the red tail back before. I mean, that was back when everyone was using tanks anyway, stuff, so. You didn't know. You just found a way to give them ventilation, and heat rocks were a major thing, and that's like really bad now. They realized how many burns it was giving animals, and all kinds of stuff, because you couldn't regulate it. But that was in the time of trial and error. I worked my butt off. Well, it wasn't for free, because I got the snakes, I got the enclosures, I got free meals for my snakes every week. The bedding, all that good stuff, like everything was free. But don't get me wrong, I definitely worked for it. I was getting bit. I was learning a lot. Just working with all kinds of different animals. We lived in a trailer, and I took off for like a week, and I messed up, and I should have sent him off with somebody because I knew the trailer got hot, and I was like constantly misting and trying to do stuff to keep my room cooler for them. But
and his room was probably one of the hottest.
Yeah. So I ended up losing both of my snakes that week. Besides like dogs and cats, I stepped away from any animal for a long time because I was so freaking mad that I lost those 2 snakes. Because this, you gotta understand, it was a huge ordeal that I even had them. Like, to be able to bring snakes into the house was a huge thing. Like,
especially after one of them got loose.
Yeah. Months and months and months of arguing, and then finally, well, if you could pay for it or something like that. It was like, if you could figure out how to pay for it, because I'm not gonna pay for it. And then I worked the deal out with Tom and got him. But
then I wanted to strangle you when that stupid corn snake got loose. You would have been mad if the kids would have ate that. Yeah.
I would have been pissed.
And I'd have been laughing my head off. Sorry.
It's okay. So fast forward to 15 years, and you have what you guys saw the start of with Fealy's clutch. And my mom's like, oh God, I thought it was over the snake shit. Like, hey Mom, guess what? Me and the wife got a snake. Oh, guess what?
We got some more.
We got 5 more. Oh, guess what? I think I'm gonna start breeding. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that.
And that's when Mom decided not to come visit anymore.
Yeah, it took a while. It took a long time. The one thing I can say is, regardless of how she feels, she's always been there to support it. Even though she doesn't like it at all.
Buying rats.
Yeah. Helping buy rats. Helping me buy rat food when I was breeding my rats. She was the first person, obviously, because Mommy loves her kids. She was the first person to buy merchandise. She bought me my business cards. Like, she might not like the idea, but she's backed it 100%. Like, if this is what you want to do it. Versus fighting, because we used to butt heads pretty good when I was little.
Oh, we still do sometimes.
That's the joy when you get older, though. You can butt heads.
Please, my baby.
Yeah. So that's the storyline of it. So I want to thank you.
You're welcome.
For always supporting me. Even when you didn't. Well, I guess you kind of have to because you're my parent, but you don't have to.
What?
Support me on my decision.
No, I didn't have to. Even though I am your parent, I didn't have to. It's just me.
It's kind of the way we were brought up, though. You take care of your own.
Family's a big deal.
It is. Anything you would like to say about the whole situation?
When are we selling the snakes?
I already sold one this year.
One.
I downsized. Now, granted, I plan on upsizing when I'm in the right way again, but then I have to go to shows to sell snakes and...
Right.
I mean, I don't have to, but to get your name out there, you kind of have to go and work shows.
Yeah. Gotta do yours.
I gotta create an account on Morph Market and all that good stuff. And I just don't do it. Like, everything you guys see, you either see through YouTube or you see through my Instagram, and that's about all you get.
Well, that means you're more social than your mother.
Yeah. A little bit. I've always been a social butterfly, though.
I used to be, remember?
I'm gonna grab you and take you to shows with me. So you can handle the money while I handle the snakes.
Yeah, okay.
I want to do the fun stuff, but you can do the work.
I can do the work. Always.
That's what family's for, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding.
It's alright, babe. I support you, but I'm not messing with them.
Well, I thank you either way. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like,
And it's not that I'm afraid of them, I just don't like them.
That's the key to it all, though, is even if you don't want to have like a hands-on part in it, you're supportive, which is more than I can say for what some people have to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, which you've kind of been that way in almost every aspect of my life anyways. Like,
That's because I'm the mama.
Yeah. Like, well, you want to do this, I don't really like it, and you probably shouldn't do it because it's kind of stupid, but...
This is how you become a snake person when you're raised by someone who can't stand snakes.
Say bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom.